It was a really exciting trip. It was a fast-paced trip. We went to 3 different schools. We went to the Great Wall. We went to Tiananmen Square. We went to the Forbidden City. We were lucky enough to go to the city of Chongqing, which is the largest city in China, 32 million people. We went to a school of 9,000 students. You'd never know there was 9,000.
That's a high school of 9,000 students.
Yeah, they call them middle schools.
Kaiser has how many?
1,111.
Yes.
8 times as big as we are.
A pimple.
Classrooms of 50 to 60 students. I think the largest one we saw was 68 students. Very similar to the Japan schools in terms of structure, very similar to the Korean schools in terms of structure. But they emphasize the arts quite a bit, and they are starting to really emphasize the English language.
All they must be very, very
aggressive on that now.
Yeah.
But it was a real eye-opener for us because it helped us see what the Chinese schools were like, number one. And then we were able to form some partnerships. We're working with Chongqing Middle School. And middle school there, they include the high school age students also. So Justin, you and I are working on establishing a partnership with them. We hope to this coming summer be able to give our Chinese language students at the high school level an opportunity to go on a student exchange. And also maybe get some teachers to go, and then the other administrators in the complex to go. But we've established this bridge now that we're connecting with China. And that's quite exciting for us.
So that's an IB bridge. If you weren't doing IB, you wouldn't have taken the
trip. If we hadn't been doing IB, we would not have been identified as a language, a Chinese language set of schools, and we would not have gotten that opportunity. So it gives us that opportunity. And it fits back to the IB mission, which is to develop students that have what they call an international mindedness and are being educated to move towards a more peaceful world, in terms of developing a sense of being a citizen of the world, not just a citizen of the United States or a citizen of Hawaii or a citizen of Honolulu, because we can get pretty myopic in our view, especially being an island state. And we need to...
Being very diplomatic. Yeah. Sometimes we're very provincial, very inward looking. My island, my family, my neighborhood. And the rest of the world out there, even though multi-ethnic wise, we're the future of the world.
And I really think, and I really think it's our responsibility as educators to break that barrier and open it up for students. And the IB program is a great one.
How about connection with the East-West Center?
We haven't worked on that directly, but there's certainly opportunities for that kind of partnership to occur. It's going to open up different sorts of avenues, but it's going to come in stages, you know, as teachers get more confident and develop connections.
May I make a suggestion? In the sense that my wife and I and daughter are host family members at the East-West Center.
Okay.
And we have a student from China, our daughter, host daughter, who's a Beijing Ph.D., and we just gained a host son from East Timor.
Oh, okay.
So you basically import those language skills, and my daughter is learning Chinese, and she's going to be speaking with the kids. Some of your parents at Kaiser could have some of those speaking with their kids.
One of the things we want to do with our parents is get more parents to be able to host kids, you know, on exchanges, year-long exchanges. We also have the opportunity to bring through this bridge connection teachers from China that can come over here for up to 3 years and teach Chinese, and their English is very good because we met some of them, to come here and teach Chinese while we get teachers certified. That's a big problem that we have, is getting certified teachers in these languages.
Yeah. So bringing in the Chinese from China
to teach while we develop through the university here more certified language teachers. We were lucky. Yi Li, our Chinese teacher, fell out of the sky last year. She was the first native-born, Taiwanese-born, educated in the Moanalua complex. She came here in the 6th grade, didn't know any English, graduated as a valedictorian from Moanalua High School, went to the UH, got her degree in Chinese language and education teaching. She graduated last spring. I hired her without even having the budget. I found out about her. I told her, I interviewed her. I said, "You're hired." In the back of my mind, I'm wondering how I'm going to pay for it, but you know, because we just needed that expertise at the school. And you know, I had some backup plans in my mind how to make it happen, but that's the risk you got to take, because you need to find people like that and get them on board. She's an absolutely wonderful Chinese language teacher, and yet we have the only certified teacher in the complex. So Neo Valley is putting together part-time teachers to make it happen. Hahione is going to need them, so we're trying to build this bridge so we can bring the Chinese teachers in, and they will pay $15,000 of their salary So we basically get a full-time teacher for 2/3 of the cost. So that's
China is really going out of its way.
And that's a benefit to us while we get some more teachers trained in the system.
John, I'm thinking that some of the parents who may have kids at Kaiser are saying, hey, you're not talking about sports. What should we know about sports at Kaiser? Or maybe the other activities that you had brought a photo in for, robotics and other things that are going on at Kaiser.
Okay, yeah, let me talk a little bit more. Academic Raising the Bar, IB, AVID, Pathways, and then the other side of it is the co-curricular programs that we have at the school. We have to bring those on board also because that's what motivates kids. You know, high school should be fun too. It shouldn't be all drudgery and studying. So we have 25, for a school our size, 25 club, class, or service activities at clubs that kids can get involved in. And that's quite a number for a school our size. We have about 60-some% of our boys participate in varsity athletics, and a little over 50% of the girls participate in varsity athletics. So we have 500 or 600 kids that participate in 15 varsity sports. So quite a rich array of OIA co-curricular sports. All of that combines together to build the co-curricular program. Our students have plenty of opportunities to get engaged. Robotics is one of our newer efforts. You know, we've been 2 years into it now, and it's just a great program because kids get really interested in it. But we're doing it kind of the low-key way. We haven't gone out and spent a lot of money, and some schools have gotten huge grants for it. We're doing a little homegrown program that we can afford because robotics is a little expensive, and so we want it to be something that we can afford and we can continue to go. We're partnering with Neo Valley now, so our middle school kids get involved with our high school kids. And our kids have a great time. They're not winning the greatest in terms of their robots, but every competition they've entered, they've come back with the equivalent of a sportsmanship trophy for helping other students, helping other clubs, you know, from other schools. So I'm really as proud of that as I am of them winning, you know, with their robot.
Is there anything that other schools couldn't be doing that Kaiser is doing? I mean, this sounds like a real success story that
I think
it makes me proud. I'm sure the parents are proud.
Yeah, it's part of my philosophy is less is more, and that comes from Ted Kaiser, that you need to focus on what you're going to do and do it well. And then as you do that, then other things will become available to you. But you need to be careful that you don't spread yourself too thin, because if you do, then you start losing your focus. So we have the academic focus, we have the co-curricular focus. Another piece that needed to be worked on was improving the communication with parents and use of technology. We put Edline into place. I think we're the only public high school that requires our teachers to use Edline. Edline is a web-based communication tool where parents can log on, check their students' grades class by class.
And participate, the attendance also.
They can communicate directly with the teachers. Teachers can put up assignments, syllabuses, all those sorts of. Kids can log in, get their assignments.
No secrets.
Johnny comes home and says, you know, Dad says, where's your homework? Oh, I don't have any homework. Oh, okay, let me go on my Edline account.
Yeah.
How about this English project? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, why don't you work on that tonight then? You know, I mean, so there's no hiding for the students and the parents. We put in Send Voice, which is an automatic calling service so that we can let parents know immediately when their students are not in school, if they're not in school. We can talk to them about special things that are coming up, announcements, you know, things that we want to communicate with them. Goes directly to either to their cell phones or to their home phones. It's a safety tool also. If we have any kind of a safety issue, we can communicate with parents right away, let them know what's going on. So that whole communication piece needed to be improved, and we've made great strides with that. And we're putting in a signage program where we have, for the students in the cafeteria, we'll have signage that's in monitors, you know, that have different news going on there. For students, we'll have signage in the office for parents when they come in, signage in the library for academic things. All those are from the PTSA doing our Cougar Pride campaign that raised money last year so that we could do those things. We Wi-Fi'd our campus. Our campus is a Wi-Fi hotspot. You can come in as a guest with your phone or your computer now. We can tell you what the login is.
John, that is fascinating. I'm getting the signals that we have run out of time.
So quickly.
But it's a man with a vision. A man who doesn't sound like a principal. It sounds like a superintendent of education.
No.
But I won't say anything about that. But this is Representative Gene Ward thanking John Sosa for an excellent and inspiring interview. Until next time, thank you for viewing. Aloha.